So you've just turned 18, you're finally done with your A-levels or your college course, and now you're probably asking yourself, what's next? Traditionally, universities have been the golden ticket to a successful career, offering in-depth knowledge and letting you learn the way that's best suited to you, with a bit of partying on the side.
University gives you the ability to really study a subject independently outside the constraints of a school day, around your priorities and around your social life.
But with tuition fees as high as ever, a national cost of living crisis, and a job market demanding experience, is university still the best option?
I'm often an advocate for degree apprenticeships solely because I think it is genuinely the best way for you to develop yourself. You're working, you're studying, and it's really the best of both worlds.
So which path is right for you? Is it the uni route, filled with lectures and late-night library sessions, or is it the hands-on, immersive experience of apprenticeships? Let's break it down.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I used to be a future leader and now study history at Cambridge University. Come along and see my room.
Yeah, so thanks so much for having us, Sarah. And my first question is, did you ever think you'd study somewhere like Cambridge, and what's it like fitting in?
I mean, for me, Cambridge at the start of year 12 was never really an aspiration. At the start of year 12, I'd just been diagnosed with a disability. I was losing my hearing, and sort of that really affected my confidence in terms of university, in terms of applying to higher education. But ultimately, it was never really there. I think really, the moment where I decided to apply to Cambridge was sort of like, after that open day, I thought, well, if I apply and I don't get in, what's the worst that could happen? Like, it's one UCAS choice. When I was submitting my photo, so when you apply to Cambridge, you have to submit a CAM card photo for your Cambridge college, for your university card. And I remember when I submitted mine, it was just a photo of me that I took last minute in my pajamas. It's like, oh, I'll never get in. It doesn't matter that they use this for my CAM card because I'm never going to get into Cambridge. But I think the second that the offer came through and it said Cambridge University has offered you a place for history, it was that moment that I was like, okay, this is meant to be for me. I'm meant to be in this place. Going to future years gave me put the idea in my head that I could go to Cambridge. And I think that was sort of my journey. It was sort of unconventional in a sense, but I'm happy where I am. I mean, studying at Cambridge is a very different experience where I grew up. I grew up in East London, and sort of the buildings that you sort of come across in Cambridge and sort of the traditions, the formal halls, the posh dinners, it's sort of isn't something that you come across really as someone who grows up in East London and goes to a state school. See, funnily enough, when I got the Cambridge offer, I was told by people at my school that I wouldn't fit in. They were like, but you don't really seem like the type of person that would go to Cambridge. When I got here, I sort of had that prejudgment that I wouldn't really fit in. It wasn't really for me. There are so many people who come from similar backgrounds to me, so many people from East London, so many people who are hijabis, who are North African, South Asian. I have friends from all sorts of backgrounds, and I don't really think that the place where I came from really defines where I come from as much here, because no one really comes up to you and goes, what kind of school did you go to? Did you go to private school? Did you go to boarding school? Did you go to state school? No one's ever asked me that question.
Hi, my name is Jaina, and I am a third-year project management degree apprentice at Leonardo. I was also part of the first cohort of future leaders.
So Jaina, you didn't go the traditional route, you didn't go to university. How did people react to that?
When I first heard about degree apprenticeships in year 10 or year 11, I went home that day at dinner and I said, guys, this is an amazing thing called degree apprenticeships. And we sat under the table and we spoke about it. And my dad was like, why don't you go for one? I've always had my parents' support and I've been so grateful for it since. But a lot of my friends, when I was talking about it, were very much opposed to the idea, which I found very strange. But I think they didn't think the degree was the same or the universities weren't reputable. It is actually the same degree and as reputable, if not more, because you have that work experience to back you.
So you're fresh out of sixth form, now in a big central London office. Wasn't that daunting?
100%. It is daunting to start a job at 18 when you're going to be the youngest person in the room. I definitely experienced imposter syndrome, especially when I first started. It was a big shock, especially going from school, being surrounded by people like my age and like from my area and from similar backgrounds to me, to completely being in a different environment. But equally, you provide a value that no one else does. Your experiences, your attitude, your perspective is so valuable to every single team. You deserve to be there just as much as everyone else. So I think there's often a misconception about if you do a degree apprenticeship, you're not experienced at university life. But that's not necessarily true, because there's university societies that you can get involved with. You've obviously got your friends at university who you can visit.
So earlier, Sarah, you mentioned that you weren't a big fan of school. So I guess it's kind of surprising that you went to university instead of doing an apprenticeship. How comes?
I struggled so much in school. I got so many detentions. I was the sort of person who would just, if I did not like a lesson, I would get up and leave. It was not built for people like me. It was not built for, I could be really passionate about what I like. I can be very passionate about sort of history. I'm very passionate about essays. I'm very passionate about writing, but I struggled in the school system. I struggled in a classroom environment. I've struggled with the lack of the ability to sort of move outside the curriculum. I remember a lot of the times in like my history at A-level when my teacher would tell me, okay, this is really good information, this isn't in the textbook, so please just focus on what's in the textbook. And it felt so restricting because it was just like, okay, this is what you have to learn. So even though I was struggling in school, it didn't mean that I hated learning. I didn't mean that I hated education. I knew that going straight into work wasn't something for me. I needed a few more years in an educational environment. And the university learning environment is way better than schools, where you have to go in 9 to 5. You have like form time, you have like this structured day. Whereas at uni, you have maybe like 1 or 2 lectures a day. And then a lot of it is just independent learning. So I'm someone who works so well in the morning and not so much at night. So I can wake up at like, I don't know, 6, 7 a.m., get all my work done before 12. I only go to one lecture from 12 to 1 and I have the rest of the day to myself. And that's how I work best. I am allowed to work the way I want to work, not the way that some sort of school system tells me I have to work. And so whilst I did look into apprenticeships, I think by looking through them, I realised that I was genuinely more suited to an academic style of learning. And I think that the really important thing here to understand is that you know yourself best. If you think that an apprenticeship would suit you, I would say by all means, take the apprenticeship. I knew that I wasn't that person. I knew that really deep down my interests were in academia. And even though I struggled in school, I think it's really important to understand that when you're looking at universities, look at universities that suit you. Look at how they teach, look at their teaching style, look at how they give feedback, look at how they assess. Don't just sort of pick 5 options at random, place them on UCAS and think, yes, this is it, I'm going to go to these universities. Because you could just as easily end up at a university that doesn't suit you, that doesn't teach the way you want to be taught, and doesn't assess the way you want to be assessed. And it's not going to be a good use of 3 years.
So most young people have quite a clear understanding of how university applications work. You have your personal statement, maybe an admission test, and there's certain grade requirements. But I think it's still quite a mystery for a lot of people out there how to apply for apprenticeships. So can you walk us through that, Jaina?
The degree apprenticeship application process is quite daunting. It depends on a company, but ultimately you'll have a lot of online assessments, a lot of game-based assessments, interviews in person, but also virtual interviews where a question will come up on your screen and you have to relay your answer to that question in 2 minutes and send it across, and it's like speaking to a robot. But ultimately, it's worth it in the end. And I also got rejections, and I think it's very normal to have rejections. Don't take it too personally, don't take it to heart, keep applying. Also, there's quite a few degree apprenticeships out there, but I think finding the ones that you're most interested in are equally very important. I was applying to a lot more like business management, but I really liked the thought of a project management degree apprenticeship. So when I received the offer for the current one I'm in, I decided to drop out of the applications to other ones and accept that offer because that was my ideal apprenticeship. I would say do loads of work experience and see what you enjoy the most, and that way if you do enjoy that working environment and the hustle and bustle and the ability to articulate your thoughts in a practical sense, then definitely look at degree apprenticeships, and that work experience will let you know which apprenticeships are right for you.
So were you always really set on apprenticeships? Or did you also consider universities at some point?
I applied to all my universities via UCAS and I received all 5 of my offers, from Warwick to Bath to Queen's to King's. But naturally I decided to do a degree apprenticeship solely because it seemed right for me at the time. It seemed like the opportunity that would push me more, challenge me a bit more, allow me to develop myself sort of at an exponential rate. And I really feel like at that current time, when I was in sixth form and I was doing all these incredible things outside of school, i.e. Future Leaders, it was the best opportunity for me to continue thriving. I didn't want my day-to-day to be just learning theory. I needed to apply it to real situations. It could be customer facing, so it could be calling up the customer and asking them about certain requirements, or it could be the customer calling us and asking us for updates. It really does depend on the day. Talking to the engineers, talking to the procurement team, and making sure that we are prepared for not only the day ahead, the week ahead, but also the month ahead. So in case you have any reports or reviews going on. But if I was to talk about university day, for example, I have university 1 day a week, and the university modules themselves are 6 weeks long. So I have an assignment due at week 3 and an assignment due at week 6. Now these tend to vary, so it could be a test, it could be coursework, it could be like a video recording like this, for example, where I would talk about what I've presented and I'll create a presentation. It really does depend, and the workload can be a lot sometimes, balancing both, but you learn to keep up with the pace. The top 3 reasons as to why I would do a degree apprenticeship is 1, self-development. The way you will grow during your apprenticeship will be honestly insane. You would not even recognize yourself as to who you were at 18. The second one will be career development. The opportunities you have at work, whether that is with your work network or your outside of work network, will be incredible. The conversations you'll be having, the way you'll look at your career will be totally different, and you'll be able to understand so much more about what you want from a job, but equally what you want to do for yourself throughout your apprenticeship and after your apprenticeship. And finally, obtaining qualifications. Your qualifications really let you consolidate what you learn at work and during your education. I'm currently working towards my degree, but I've also received an APM PMQ, so I'm officially a qualified project manager. And I would not be able to be a qualified PM at what was 20 if I wasn't doing a degree apprenticeship.
So chances are, you've heard a lot of opinions about whether university or apprenticeships are better. But the truth is, there is no right or wrong answer. It's all about what fits you. That's why it's crucial to research not just whether you want to go to uni or take up an apprenticeship, but also which specific uni or apprenticeship suits your style and goals. Both Jaina and Sarah did their homework. They dug deep, looked at exactly what each pathway offered, and picked what matched their needs. Jaina, for example, played it smart by applying to both universities and apprenticeships. She kept her options open, giving herself the flexibility to choose the best path when the time came. And you can do the same. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Apply to universities and apply to apprenticeships. Keep those options open. And remember, be ambitious. Sarah never thought she'd be where she is now, but she took that step, and she discovered that her dreams were more attainable than she thought. And there's also a third option. Go straight into work. It's what I did, and I have zero regrets. Definitely not right for everyone, but it is a possibility. So what should be the main takeaway? Choose a path that feels right for you. That means doing your research, staying flexible, and not being afraid to aim high. Take your time, explore all the possibilities, and remember, you're now in control of your own future. So go out there, and maybe one day, we'll interview you to inspire the next generation of future leaders. Thanks for watching, and good luck.